When did you realize your parents actually disgusted you? I was 18 when my little brother Justin started talking to people who weren't there. He was 15, this sweet kid who made me birthday playlists every year and always saved me the last slice of pizza. He taught himself guitar by watching YouTube videos and would play me his latest songs every night before bed. And then one morning he came downstairs asking why I was laughing at him when I hadn't said a word. 2 months of hallucinations and 3 psychiatrist visits late, the diagnosis came down like a hammer, rapidly progressing schizophrenia. Our parents promised Justin they'd move heaven and earth to get him help. You're not fighting this alone, Dad said. We're going to find the best doctors, try every treatment, whatever it takes. And they did at first, but I guess they were expecting a quick fix, and that's not what happened. Insurance denied new treatments at every turn, and the medications we could get made. Justin gained 30 pounds and sleeps 16 hours a day. My parents started making excuses, working longer hours and taking impromptu business trips. By month 3, I was the one sitting with Justin at 2 a.m. when he'd wake up terrified that his reflection was plotting against him. The worst part was watching his music disappear. Justin stopped making beats because he thought the melodies in his head were being stolen by the voices. He'd stare at his guitar for hours, but never touch it. When I asked why, he said the strings were telling him he was worthless. He'd apologize constantly for being broken and beg me not to give up on him like everyone else had. My parents barely noticed. They were planning their anniversary cruise. One night I woke up to a start to my cell phone ringing. It was Justin, calling me at 3 a.m. from our roof. They followed me up here, he whispered. The shadow people from my room. They want me to jump but not to die. They want me to fly because they say I'm not human. I talked him down, telling him how much I loved him and that I needed him to stay with me while I called 911. When paramedics arrived, my parents stood in their pajamas looking confused while I explained Justin's symptoms. I spent the next week sleeping next to Justin's hospital bed, learning about antipsychotics from nurses who assumed I was his legal guardian. When my parents finally visited, they brought flowers and stayed 20 minutes before leaving because Justin's rambling made them uncomfortable. Mom said, it's just hard to feel connected to him when he barely resembles our son anymore. I had no idea what she was talking about because Justin was the same sweet kid he'd always been. He was just sick. But that's when I decided that if I was going to act like Justin's legal guardian, I needed to make it a reality for both our sakes. I stopped saving for college, stepped up my work hours, and researched how to adopt my brother. I got us a small apartment as soon as the paperwork was signed. When Justin had good days, we'd work on music together. He'd hum melodies and I'd help him record them before the voices convinced him not to. When he had bad days, I'd find him hiding in closets and I'd sit with him until the fear passed. He always thanked me afterward, even when he was shaking and couldn't tell if I was real. My parents didn't fight the guardianship. Instead, they moved to Florida 2 years later. They said Justin's condition was affecting their mental health and they needed a fresh start. 4 years later, Justin had been stable for 8 months and was working at a recording studio. That's when Mom called crying and said she'd been diagnosed with Alzheimer's. I need you to move down here and help me, she said. I'm forgetting things and your father can't handle it alone. Dad got on the phone. This is different from Justin's situation. This is real dementia, not some psychological episode. I met them at their neurologist's office. I watched Dad struggle to answer basic questions about Mom's symptoms. After the appointment, Mom cried about being scared and confused. You understand what it's like, she said. You lived with Justin when he wasn't making sense. I need that same patience now. I looked at this woman who'd called her son's illness psychological episodes and abandoned him when he needed her most. You know what the difference is between you and Justin? I said. When Justin was sick, he was still kind. He still said thank you when I helped him. He still cared about other people more than himself. I'm not abandoning you. I'm just making the same choice you made when Justin needed you. I'm doing what's best for myself. I drove home to Justin, who was cooking dinner for us both, and he told me about his day at work. He made me laugh until my drink came out my nose, and that was the only family I needed.